Is it this? No? Yeah. It's one of these. Is it this? Is it this? No, that's Omori. No, that's the chat. Oh god, what a disaster.
Rip chat.
No, that's Indiana Jones. Uh so the hey, there we go. So the OBS decided to update and that kicked all of my settings. So we had to figure out how to restart the stream. Yeah, all right.
It looks good. It's in the intended stream. As far as I'm concerned, it worked out great. And there we go. We can pull up the always beloved interesting nerd background.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
interesting nerd canvas.
Oh my gosh, we have so many good people here.
We do.
Rusty says I had accidentally had my playback speed set to 2 times. Very nice.
Michael talks so the part of the stream where Tom live streams every tab on his computer until he finds it's the right one, which can never go wrong. Famously, we've never had to go back and edit live streams because Tom has doxed himself by having his email open.
Ah,
That has never happened.
I'm sorry. I try so hard. Can someone in
You
the
do.
Oh god. Can someone in the chat please tell us how the audio is? I just want to make sure that it's okay before we launch into this madness. Also, the Aggie link is in the chat. I trust everyone in the chat to be responsible with the Aggie link.
Anybody who is participating in resolutions this year, you're welcome to join. We're in a public voice chat. Please, please, please. Oh my goodness, Mira just boosted our server. Thank you, Mira.
Hey, Mira, let's go!
Yeah, please, please, please hop in. We'd love to have you to chat about the things you accomplished this year. First, Tom and I are going to go head to head because that was the promise we made to each other. This is Tom. We were talking on the phone earlier. This is the 4th time you and I have competed head to head with resolutions.
That is very correct, and I think that that's extremely cool.
There have been 4 entire years of our lives, 2020, 2021, 2022, and now 2023, where at the beginning of the year we said, I'm going to beat you at making my life better, and one of us was right and the other was wrong. Although I don't think, because we had different competing groups, I think how it would have worked is, I think we're 2 and 2. I think you beat me 2020 and 2021, and then I beat you 2022 and 2023 if we're going by point totals. Although for some of them we were a little iffy about keeping track of it. This year we did it pretty formalized. So sorry, I'm assuming I beat you this year. We don't know that for sure yet.
I
That's why
think
we're here to count.
There's a very good chance of that, but we're gonna find out.
I think this is the year I tie you, and that means 2024 is going to be the tiebreaker, which is very exciting. But I could be wrong.
All right, now I just want to say for the people who have the Agulin, it's great to have you here, and I'm very excited. Be responsible with it, or I will ban you. be responsible with it. Don't see this. I don't want anything edgier than this. This is the cap. See this up here? This is the cap.
It's cut off on the stream anyway.
Perfect.
You can't even see the top of it on the stream.
I'm also going to turn into an octopus because I find that amusing. I
Excuse
need
me?
to join the Aggie link.
Okay. All right, everybody. Oh no. Oh shoot. We have to right. We have to make the resolution when we're doing Aggie. We can't put text on the screen. We have to make the resolution on its own PNG and then map it over. So I will go and fetch our resolutions from last year. Zach, entertain the crowd.
Hello, crowd. I'm here to entertain you. I need to make a new layer, not copy. There we go. Wait,
Zach, do you want to get so? We also had some other plans for this stream. Zach, would you like to explain what became of those plans?
We were going to do a meme review of all the memes posted on our memes channel. Very unfortunately, there were far too many, and it's hard to tell which ones were just posted by people because they liked them and which ones were OC, and we want to reward people for making OC. I think we will do, Tom has some of the favorites from ones I've sent him for my group friends, and from videos that we've made and other projects we worked on, and some other ones that I think we know are OC. I think you're going to do a brief showcase, but that could be wrong.
Yes, I will, but I think that's gonna have to be its own, unless you want that right now.
Do you want to do that right now?
Zach, I have great news. You can also do that right now.
But just by pulling the memes in?
Yeah.
I guess I could.
How were you planning on doing it?
Well, some of them are videos. I don't know how that's gonna work.
I don't know how any of this is gonna work. This VOD is gonna end up on the second channel. We're all gonna have to be okay with that.
That's probably the case. Yes. Where is this in my? Where's Aggie?
Do. Okay, there we
Here,
go.
this is my favorite video. The favorite meme I made for one of my videos this year. It's really good. I'm very happy with it.
There we go. I'm bringing it over. Nobody panic. Zach is entertaining the crowd.
I am. There's a lot of other memes can I actually share. I'm gonna put one up that Tom's probably gonna say is too edgy.
Oh no!
It'll only be on screen for a second.
No! Zach, stop it!
What's wrong with that meme?
What's wrong with that? There we go. And I'm coming right over here. Where did Aggie go? There it is. Boop. Boop.
I need to scroll up to find the memes for the long lost Yu-Gi-Oh vid now. How far back are those?
Zach, you say lost, but it will be found. Hey, look at that. There it is.
It will be found, possibly with more memes. Oh, I forgot I made this one.
Is that on the screen? This is a question. Nice.
It is on the screen. I can see it. Now we actually have to get rid of all the drawings because they're interfering with readability.
Oh, by the way, First and Zelazor are here. Zelazor's here because they participated in the resolution vote last year. First is here because First was in the channel. Hello, both of you.
Hello.
All right. So, here we go. Again, if there are people in the chat or crowd who would like to hop into the voice call because they would like to play the 2024 resolution game with us, or because they were in for the 2023, they are more than welcome, but they absolutely do not have to.
While you're talking, I'm just going to be dropping in more memes and then removing them.
I went and pulled all the memes that I thought were funny, beginning September of 2022 and going through the end of 2023, and it has more than 300 slides. So we're not doing it today.
That's fair. I am trying to find one of the Yu-Gi-Oh memes to pull up as a teaser. It's way back. Wait, when did I send these to you?
I don't know.
When in history did we record the Yu-Gi-Oh video?
Nick says Bears choked it. This is my Super Bowl this year.
Yes, the Bears did choke it very famously.
Rusty says I'm trying to put a meme in Aggie, but I don't know how it works.
You literally just save it and drag it in.
Oh my god.
Wait, why am I telling people how these memes work? They're gonna put ones that are way out of my mind.
Hey, be responsible.
Be responsible.
Be responsible.
See, anything more political than this, don't post it.
Yep. Zach! Zach, we're live right now!
I'm aware.
Zach, we're live right now! Oh my god. Zelazor, would you like to kick us off?
With
your resolutions.
For
last year.
Sorry, I got, yeah. Let's open up my notes app. Or I guess it'll be in the chat, won't it? The Discord.
Yeah. Yeah. Chables, hello, good evening.
Yeah. I can't find it.
Boop. You want me to read them out to you?
Oh no, got him. I
Nice.
got him.
Nice.
Found him. Yeah. Wow, this is a list of things. My number one resolution. Should I like just read them out, or do I want to put them somewhere?
Yeah, go ahead and just read them out.
Finish 3 YouTube videos I've already started, and then I list the ones I already started. None of them got done, so that's a big ol' no for that one.
This is
Yeah,
you're gonna have a similar through line to mine, I think.
Yeah, most of mine are big projects that I wanted to get work done on this year and didn't get enough work done on any of them. My number 2 resolution, read a book in Arabic. I actually tried to do that one and failed, but I did try that one, unlike some of these other ones.
How far did you get?
I got into an Arabic class that was really bad and then quit, and now I'm applying to Arabic summer programs, which is on my resolution goal for this coming year.
All of this is very respectable. Continue.
Yes. Send the Eisler's pilot episode script to a studio. My co-writer on that project, we ran into some technical and logistical difficulties with that. But we'll, hopefully progress will be made there soon. And then the next 5 are all finish a draft of X book, movie, screenplay, whatever. None of which I finished.
What kind of progress did you make?
Oh no, I guess.
What kind of progress did you make on them?
Varying. Some of them none. Some of them I got a couple chapters or a few scenes or got. Yeah, it was a busier year than I had hoped, and thus less time.
That happens. That's
writing.
happened in previous years. The first year that we did this was right before COVID.
Yeah, we put all of our resolutions in before COVID happened, locked them in, and there are many that were frankly unachievable.
You
Some of
might
us
say
had traveling resolutions. Some of us had performing karaoke in public resolutions. And guess what we weren't doing during a global pandemic?
Fair. Why is Mads Mikkelsen on this screen?
Zach, why is Mads Mikkelsen on the screen?
Somebody else had a meme just hanging up there, so I thought I was just going to decorate the blank space with memes, and then the other person deleted their meme.
I got a blank space, baby, and I'll write your meme.
Been working on a mashup using that one, actually. That might be part of a next year resolution, but we'll see.
So, Zelazar, we always try to have like a I don't know, like I guess a how did it go sort of like question.
Yeah.
How do you feel like it went, and do you feel like you would want to do it differently next time?
In general, resolution bowl?
Yeah.
Is that is that the question? Oh yeah. I mean, I think I picked a lot of resolutions that I filled my resolution up with things that were mutually exclusive, and then life got in the way of all of them at once. If that makes sense.
Are you planning on playing again this year?
Which is a problem. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to talk a little bit more about like some of the I guess strategic changes that you're making when we go to do the second round a little bit later?
Yeah, I mean, my first resolution is just generally finish writing projects. And like, my first resolution is like finish 2. And so that, takes it combines all of the, like, the middle 8 resolutions into one, so I can focus. So I can like have other kinds of resolutions in there.
I feel like I also had I had too many similarly ambitious resolutions, and they all took time away from each
Mhm.
other.
Yep.
It's the
And
Three Stooges trying to walk through a door phenomenon.
exactly. And so I ended up completing none of them.
Yeah.
I tried to. I'm going to talk about a strategy that I have. A friend of mine had a strategy that was really effective. I made a modification to his strategy, and it has won me Resolution Bowl 2 years in a row. And I will give that gift to everybody because I don't want to win next year. So at
You
the
know,
end of
it's
this
funny. I
video,
also don't want you to win next year.
wow, we have one thing in common.
That's it.
I don't know if I still want to beat you next year. If somebody beats the both of us, I think that'd be great. But I don't. There have been some people who have consistently punched above their weight class in the group of friends I do this with, and it's always nice when somebody else makes like a spirited effort. But it was always a spirited effort for second or third.
Yeah. Yeah, Zeb. All right. I'll go next.
No. Do it to
All
him.
right. Well, Tom, let's go back and forth because that's how we did it for. I want to bookend this bad boy. Normally, when we're doing the counting party IRL, a person stands up and presents everything they did and goes like down the list, and everybody there asks questions, asks for examples, asks for clarification because they might bump the point total up, or if they feel like you got 75% of the way there, they might give you 3/4 of your points. Tom, since we did this, the two of us head to head, mano y mano, red versus blue, Freddy versus Jason versus Kramer. Uh, we should do the counting that way. I think we should go back and forth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and say whether we did it or not. Are you amenable to that counting method?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Why don't you start with number 1?
All right. Zach, I have terrible news. I,
What's
I
the
did
terrible news?
I didn't publish a book this year.
Which is a shame because
Who's
I'm
putting
super
memes over
looking.
the thing we're doing? Get it out of here, you nerds. You gotta make it small and you gotta make it in the corner.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying it's not funny. Zach, I did not publish a book this year.
Look, if I'm not allowed to enjoy that rapper's music anymore, you're certainly not allowed to put memes about him.
Uh, yeah, there it is. Little and in the corner. Get it back there. See if you can lower the opacity too. We'll have this we'll have this like terrible tableau of memes behind this nonsense. Zach, I wanted to publish a book this year. During
Yes.
COVID, I wrote a book. It was great. And I wanted to get it published because I sort of spent the last year sitting on it, or the previous year sitting on it. So I put it on this list, and every single time I sat down to work on it, it put me back into the same headspace that I was in when I was writing it, which is to say, sad. Um, and I did it. I didn't. It wasn't. It was not good. It was not a good place or a fun place. So I stopped trying a couple of months ago and accepted that one as a loss.
It's a real bummer 'cause from what I read of it, and I'll admit I never got around to reading the whole thing because it was very long and it was hard to read off of a Google Docs page. And I'm sorry about that, but that is the truth. I enjoyed all the scenes that I read through, and I think it is a real like fun story. But I understand if it's not something you can consciously edit, because I abandoned an entire album that was going to be my debut album before the one that became my debut album. We'll get to that when we go to my number 1. That was just very similar. I was in a bad headspace when I made it, and there was no way to edit it without returning myself there, and I completely get that. I ended up scattering that album to the wind, and I used the songs that I liked for other projects. And maybe there's a way to salvage some of the things from your publish a book resolution for a future endeavor, and I hope that's the case because from what I read of it, it was pretty good.
Thank you. That it really does mean a lot to hear you say that. Um, I will attempt to return to it in the future, but I think it might be a not right now kind of thing.
I completely get that one. I'm gonna bounce over to my number one if you're okay with that.
Yeah, please.
Release an album, an original album. I'm trying to draw in a hidden layer. Why is the layer hidden? Why would that happen? Who would do this to me? Okay, there we go. That one is done.
Let's go.
Hold on, I'm drawing things. So that one is done by all the metrics I said. It is finished. It is released on major streaming services, and it has a physical copy. I'm going to go get a picture and throw it on screen right now. Hold on one
Nice.
second. I have physical copies. I don't believe I had a chance to give one to you yet, but I will. And there may be a way we release these in the future. Let me save this image and put it in the edgy link here. Wait, that's the wrong thing. That's a meme. Where's my download?
You motherfucker.
That would be really funny if I did that again. There we go. Here's the copy of the album. It is real. It exists. The cover is on backwards because I misunderstood what I was ordering.
It's not a mistake. It's a factory misprint, which means it's more valuable.
Yes, correct. So there might be a way in which we distribute these factory misprints someday for fans who really want a physical copy. You could have it, but if you haven't listened to the album yet, it's on every major streaming service. It's on YouTube. Rincaria by Deterra LaCroix. I'm very happy. I've been working on this album since the first Resolution Bowl in 2020 when I made a good handful of the instrumentals. I've changed it out, replaced songs, done things year after year to get it ready. And I never want to work that long on a single album again, so I'm glad that one is out and over and done with. And I am collecting those points if you're good with that, Tom.
Please take them. They're yours. They're absolutely yours.
Okay.
Oh, I'd like to pop to the chat real fast.
Go for it.
I see in Zach Pack there's getting under 200 pounds. That's also my resolution. I started at 300 in November. And are now 13 down. 15 down. That's fantastic.
That is incredible.
That's outstanding.
I also lost 15 pounds this year, which is notably not as much as I needed to get the resolution. We'll get there. But if 15 is like incredible and it takes a lot of effort, I had to work hard all year to like maintain that. And kudos to you. Any amount of weight like that is not an easy thing to do. So congrats on that.
Zach, would you like to do? Would you want to do snake draft style?
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah. You go ahead. Do the second.
The second one was earn at least 200 in a single month via the internet. Which, Tom, we did that in August, I believe.
You're damn right we did.
We after the split, I bagged a little over 200 through the money we made via YouTube and Patreon and some other sources. And that was before I released the album, so I then did it again the next month also, because I made a decent amount on sales there, and then also what we made for YouTube and Patreon. So it has been that was a long shot to me. I did not think that one would happen. So when it did happen, I was super excited. I was prepared to go an entire year making less than that. And like as we said, we do the YouTube stuff because we enjoy it, not because of any like financial incentive. The fact that people want to give us money and YouTube wants to give us money for this is like great, and we're happy about that. But we were just going to keep making the same amount of videos no matter what. So it's not like I had to bust my butt at all for this to happen. This is because of y'all really liking and supporting us, and I like really have to thank everybody for that. That has been like one of the craziest things in my life.
I agree wholeheartedly. It's very cool and very neat that like that a bill or two are covered every month, uh, just from doing this dumb shit. It's really
Yes.
cool and makes doing things that we would like to be doing otherwise really cool. Uh, you guys are the reasons that we are able to make so many nightmare outtakes.
So many ridiculous outtakes of which we've made many.
Yeah. Uh, Zach, I have great news.
Yes.
I just this week did some late playtesting, and I think that this one is done.
I remember you showing me how it worked, and it seemed like a very good board game, and I would agree if you think it's ready. I think that is a playable board game that a lot of people will enjoy, and I would love for us to give it a trial run somewhere soon.
Now, granted, all I have is a physical test set that I made. Um, it is an RPG that I am at this moment calling a War of Words, uh, or Dungeon Wars, depending on how I'm feeling on a certain day. Um, it is
Is it not the War of Words?
uh uh it again, it depends on how I'm feeling that day. I've only written it in like 3
Well,
places total.
because then TWOW could come out so soon.
Oh my god! That's that's good branding. That's good branding. It is a social deck builder. It is a social deck builder RPG that is extremely fun. I play tested with Zeb and one of our friends in a can I say the name of a bar by us? Is that gonna get me? Could that possibly get me in trouble?
The worst thing that's going to happen is somebody is going to go there frequently to try and run into you, and it might work.
All right, I play
So if you're
tested.
okay with that,
I play tested with the two of them at a Tully's family restaurant.
oh, okay. So now I have to go to every Tully's because there's like at least five.
Yeah. Good luck with that one. Um, and we play tested it, and the two of them had a fantastic time playing through a horror mystery that I had made. Um, I had originally intended to when the point that I wanted to get to have it considered like play testable was to have 3 full campaigns. I have 2 full campaigns. Um, but I am satisfied enough with that to call it done. And with a little bit of development, I think that it could be ready for like live playtesting at cons, and like I could be giving out playtesting sets. Um, as a matter of fact, the base set for it is ready now, but it's just the inbox campaigns that aren't like ready for shipment. So if you wanted to, if anyone like if another person ever wanted to, they could take the system, build their own campaign, and play it. Um, it's it's like a dungeon master's guide without any um, pre-made campaigns. Is sort of the way I would describe it.
Yeah.
Which is to say, is very cool. Oh, somebody said Tully's. You say?
Yes. I think they span multiple states. Actually, I think there's a lot more Tullys than people from a Rust Belty city that may or may not cheer for a red, white, and blue football team.
Yeah,
Believe.
Boston.
New York.
The good old Rust Belt city of Boston. That's where
Yeah.
it's located. Uh,
Uh, Zach, I also have great news. I bought a building this year.
you did buy a building.
Yeah. It's not as far along as I would have liked it to be, but I did purchase a building and it is mine. And no one can tell me that it's not. I'm circling it. It's my building. Is beautiful and a nightmare. And I gotta get you out there sometime.
I can't believe I haven't been to it yet, but yes, I would love to see it. All the work you've done on it, all the places where you've hit your hand with a hammer in it. I want the full tour. I can mention that because that was part of the video we just published.
Yeah.
We're good.
My hand. I still have a cut on my hand.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's very unfortunate.
No, it was really
Uh,
funny.
it was quite funny.
All right, Zach, keep us
I'm
rolling.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yes, I gotta keep us rolling. Let's see. Perform a concert-length set list on bass. I did not do this one. I got a good 1/3 of the way there, but I was actually a lot closer to that at the beginning of the year than I thought. I still am not playing bass enough to my liking. It's hard to find free time to sit down and do something that gives me blisters, because that impedes on the other things I can sit down and do that day and the things I can do at work.
If you know what I
Uh,
mean.
I used to have I used to have really good calluses build up, and they atrophied over the years, where I could just pick up a bass and play and it would be no problem, because that's just how my fingers were. They were resistant to it. Getting back to that will require a period of time where I can just go around with blisters on my fingers, as the Beatles once shouted, with no worries or concerns whatsoever. And I ain't there yet. Maybe someday, but I'm not back to my full time bass playing days, which is a shame, because I still have a good amount of skills, and I don't have nearly the symptoms of arthritis I thought I would have at this age. So I have a lot more bass playing years left in me, but not a ton, and I've got to get on that. I'm going to try and find a way to make that a more achievable resolution in a future year, possibly 2024, maybe later. But very tragically, this was not the year for it. And speaking of things it wasn't the year for, at the peak of this year, I got to 230, 235 pounds ish, and I am back to 215, which is notably above
Hey,
200.
hey,
So
let's
I did
go.
not end the year below 200 pounds, but I did stop my weight from going up and kept it at 215, which is great, because that is a weight where most of my clothes fit, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do that.
Hey, dude, let's
Uh,
go.
yes,
Zach, I'd like to shout out a comment from Ross. Uh,
go for it.
is for Zach's number 4 is amputation allowed.
Sorry, what was that?
For Zach's number 4, get weigh 200 pounds or less. Is amputation allowed?
We've discussed this at actually every resolution bowl that we've ever had. Technically, yes. We would have to say I don't think that you're going for, but also if somebody did permanently lose a limb, I feel like you would give them the points anyways.
Yeah, right. I
Like,
feel like
yeah,
you have to give them the points,
yes.
but like, maybe don't play with them again the following year if they did it on purpose.
Said, well, okay. If they do it again in another year to do the same resolution, say I'm giving you fewer points this time.
Yeah, yeah. You get diminishing returns from your amputations. All right, Zach. I did not run a 10K this year. I hurt my knee, like 2 years ago now, and I have been really working up to making it better. And I started steadily jogging again this year, which has been really good for me and really healthy. And then I stopped because running sucks. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it
like
does.
I would like to say, I really would like to say, something like I felt that my physical condition was incongruous with running as much as it would take to train up to a 10K. And that's not true. I didn't want to, so I didn't.
I get that. I respect that. I cannot at all blame you for that. I had a similar problem of running in like long walks are my go-to exercise, and my options were to do those when I was exhausted and got back and it was already dark out and cold, or don't do that. And you know which one I picked?
I
So I understand completely. Like, doing a 10K requires more effort than I was willing to put into, adding minus 1.5 pounds to my weight every week. Uh, and like, I couldn't do that. I cannot blame you for not doing a 10K. That's a huge commitment.
That's not that huge.
It's at least like 10 times the commitment of a 1K.
Yeah, but a 1K is like, oh, how much is a 1K? Um, it takes me 45 minutes to run a 5K, so like 7 minutes. You can jog for 7 minutes. I believe in you.
I can jog for 7 minutes. I don't know if I'll be happy with myself afterwards, but I can do it. It's the and then do it 10 more or 9 more times. It's the real rub there.
Uh, all right, Zach. Let's talk about my number 5.
Let's talk about the token system,
Let's
which I
talk
am
about the
ripping off
beautiful.
next year.
If anyone is considering doing resolutions, the token system I have found is extremely effective. Um, I said to myself, okay, I am going to eat food at restaurants 24 times, right? I'm giving myself 24 tokens, 2 tokens a month that I can use to eat at restaurants. If I run out of the tokens and I try to spend another one, I have lost the resolution. And it's really a great way of keeping track of how much you're spending at restaurants and how much you're eating out. Strictly speaking, this is not accurate. The actual resolution is on fewer than 24 on fewer than or equal to 24 days. I'm sorry, 24 waking periods. Uh, and Zach, for the second year in a row, I failed in November.
It's I don't want to say peculiar, but it is kind of predictable that that's where it ends,
Oh,
all things considered.
what a
And
heartbreaker too.
I know I like you worked a lot harder to like blow out at the same spot, which is a shame because November is like both tantalizingly close and not nearly close enough to a counting party in early January. And if you had said like it's the calendar year of January 1st to December 31st, I'd accept that. And if you said it's from counting party to county party, I'd accept that as well. And November is just like it's hard to make 2 or 3 tokens last through into the entirety of November, and then also December on top of that. It's really tough. I think the suggestion I made was just up your number of tokens by a tiny bit so that you can run into the same problems and have just a tiny bit more resources. And I don't think people will begrudge you if you throw a 5 onto that number, or 6
Eh,
onto that number to bump it up.
as it were.
Yes.
All right, Zach, take us away.
I am stealing that methodology for alcoholic beverages in the 2024 resolution bowl. I want to shout that one out right now. It's a very good idea that is also quite a challenge, but I'm going to see if it's feasible for me to do, and then we can go back and determine whether it was feasible at all. Which is one of the wonderful things about resolution bowl is we're testing different methods of self improvement, and we can share them. Tom,
Yeah,
write and direct a film and music video. I did this
you
and
sure
released
did.
neither of them. We made a short film. We filmed a short horror thing. It's 45 minutes and arguably should be a lot shorter and needs some like framing device around it. But the stuff that's in there is good. It's fun. Uh, there's a lot of filler in between, but they are, what I can see and from what I can tell, very, very like good scenes separated by you running through the wilderness for 10 minutes. And if it wasn't for that, it would be a fine little horror movie we put together. The scenes of me being the villain and walking around and being spooky are just that. The fight scene actually came out really well. You finding the prop came out really well. We might have a version of this for release eventually, but not only is there way too much like nothing happening, we also have a license plate that we can't just blur out, or if we do, we need to like pretend it's not just raw footage. So that is done. Asterisk, but I said write and direct, not edit and release. And as for the music video, I sent it to you just the other day. It is a lockdown shot with some effects on it that I uh, used to make it look like there's a phone call coming and the phone looks real, but everything as you go out becomes more and more like a watercolor painting. And I was really happy with that. My friends in the IRL decided to dock me some points for that one because it was not a fully, edited, lot of cuts music video. But they did give me partials for that. I think you said you really liked that music video, so you're probably going to give me full for that, right?
I mean, it was great. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I'm giving you credit for it. We ran through the woods and you punched me in the head. It was great.
That's true. I did do that. All right, let me add another layer
If you ever
here.
have the opportunity to be in a short film with Zach, you should do it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We both came in with a lot of good ideas and like working through it together. Honestly, we made probably the best version of that we could have made in a single day with no budget,
Yeah,
which is a good.
yeah,
Number 6. Oh,
it's
sorry. Go ahead.
good. No, it's good. It's simple. It's crisp. I like it a lot, and it took us a day.
And it's rare that I get to direct something and play a villain in it, which are two of
Yeah.
my favorite things to do. And I got to do both, so it was a lot of fun. Number 6, finalize a board game and a game mod. I just straight up did not do this. I did not have time to learn a mod and then write it and then build it up from the ground up. And then I could have spent time working on my board game, but creative energies and time to work on things are a limited resource. And when you look at everything else I accomplished, it had to come from somewhere. This is one of the places where it came from, quite unfortunately. So that is not happening this year, but it might be happening in a future year.
I see that
What do you?
comment, Zelazar. I thought that was you.
I was writing it up at the top. It doesn't even show up on YouTube.
I know. I was looking to see it showing up. I was like, oh, nobody can see it. But it would be funny if we deleted it all, anyways. And it was.
Turns out, literally 1984.
Yes.
Literally 1984.
Actually, you 1984'd yourself, and then you got 1984'd on top of it. So that is actually.
No, but the whole point of
actually
1984 is.
It's actually 3,968.
But they censor themselves in 1984,
That's
which
true.
is also part of it.
People
Yeah.
also censor themselves in real life too.
Yeah.
Hello, Drew.
All right, Zach. I got 6. All right. I did not do this, not for any particular reason, but just because while I was doing my scuba stuff, I went scuba diving several times this year, but I was never able to be in a position where I could get cover diving certification or be in a position where I could be like on a live cover dive training. It was not it just wasn't tenable. It didn't happen. I am
You
considering
need a
putting that in.
training and certification to go to a sunken ship because there's so many ways you can end up stuck there and dying, which is a terrible, terrible fate. But if you know what you're doing and you have like a team with you, you can usually do it safely, is I believe how you explained it to me.
Yes.
And the amount of things you'd have to do just to be able to get to the sunken ship was the bottleneck for that. Because knowing you, if you were able to and had like, 2 people willing to go down with you, you would have found a sunken ship on a weekend and gone and done it.
Yes. And I did intend this year to explore to expand my scuba certifications, to get a little bit more of that experience and get a little bit more into the community so that I could hang out with the people who do that regularly. But I just wasn't able to make it work, and that's okay.
Yes.
This
That's
is a great lesson. The
what
things
happens.
that we intend to do are not always the things that we are able to do. And having a record like this, I find very useful for understanding how things happened and didn't happen. Zach, let's talk about number 7.
Let's do it.
Number 7 did not happen.
Yeah.
However, this one is not for lack of trying.
You actually put a spirited effort into a screenplay for something that sounds really fun.
I really did. And it is not done, and I don't want points for it. So don't you fucking give me points for it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say it's something to the effect of when I started to pivot it, which was like a month ago, it was something to the effect of a third done. And then I was like, actually, I think this would work better as a novel. So I'm like a third of the way through writing another book. And that just sort of happened.
Yeah.
The pitch
It's definitely
is
much easier to write this.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say you're making more work for yourself.
You're correct. But I'm also better at it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something he's better at, and it's also better for the final product. And I agree with you that writing it as a novelization is probably more to it plays well to your sense of humor, and your sense of like flow in writing. This is a very fun and exciting story with a lot of setup and payoff, especially because magic in the magician sense is a big part of this. If I can not, is that spoiling too much? Like you love a set this thing off so it can pay off at just the right moment, and you know what? I love that too, and you get to set the tempo with a novel more than you do with the screenplay because so much of a screenplay can be drawn out or interpreted, and then of course you actually have to go and film it, and it
Yeah.
might not hit as hard when filmed as it was when written. And especially with the things you're doing in this, I think 100%. Write a novel first, and if you feel like you're comfortable trying to film it, do that second.
I agree.
Mm.
And the cool thing about a novel, um, as a like this book that I have written, I have not done anything with it, but it is done. It is done. If I wanted to, I could ship it tomorrow, right? But
Mhm.
a screenplay, if I was to write a screenplay and finish a screenplay, then it would be very generously arguable that it is half done. Because the second half is all the production that goes into actually turning it into a piece of cinema. Um, and
I don't think that's true.
you think that that the screenplay
I mean,
is
I say this as a screenwriter, but as like an aspiring screenwriter, that I hope it's not. I hope my screen. I hope my efforts have not been only for a third of it or whatever of
now
a work.
that's not to say that when you get to that point, it's not like a valuable stopping point. It is. Um,
No, yeah,
but like then you have to have right, like at that point you have to have a conversation with studios and
yeah.
or all your favorite friends, whereas with a book I have to have a conversation with publishing houses if I want to. If I don't want
Or you
to,
can
I
or you
can
can
tell
create
them
indie
all
publish too.
I can tell them all to eat a dick and I can put it on Amazon, and if 9 people buy it, 9 people buy it.
Yeah, that's a totally valid way to do it. That's about how many people bought Rincaria, and then another 200 plus listened, and then like
Yeah.
yeah, if that's all you get at the moment, that's all you get. And as we say a lot, and YouTube has validated this a lot, new content pushes old content.
Hmm.
You don't need your first book to be a hit. You just need a book to be a hit, and then hope that people say, "Well, I like this guy's writing. Let's check out, the other 3 books he's got out."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Wild Cards sales have gone up since Game of Thrones came out.
This is correct, and it's a very good way to do, business in writing is don't sweat it and know that if you have a winner, people will find it someday. And if they don't, hopefully they find the not quite the winner that came before it and then go back and say, well, why wasn't this one famous?
Yeah. So that is cooking. It is not done, but it's cooking.
And from everything you've told me about it, I'm excited to read this one.
Thank you. That
And
means a lot.
it seems like it'll be a lot easier for you to get through the editing phase and to get this one out. And also, I think you could make this a shorter, snappier story and just publish. This is a thing where you could do an anthology of stories, and it would be really fitting. So you don't need to get all the character payoff in one book. I think the thing with your spooky novel was most of these people are going to go through either something traumatic or die, so their character arc has to happen in the entirety of this book, and that's true of multiple people, which is
Yes.
tough. It's a very tough thing to do.
And on top of that, the the book, which is called Water Pressure, the one that I have written, um is so fucking dour. That book, there's some parts that are jokes, and there's some parts that I thought were funny. And when I go back and read through them, I'm like, oh God, like a joke in this situation is not funny. It's just upsetting. That's not to say it's
Yeah.
bad, right? It's not out of place. It's just not funny. That book is not
Yes.
fucking funny.
And yes, I agree. that is difficult with the like kind of horror you're doing to have your style of like quippy humor in it and all that.
So that's where I'm leaving that one. It's good and I like it, but it's not done.
Tom, give me just 1 second.
Uh-oh, I have to entertain the crowd. Um, uh,
Rep-
uh, I have taken some of these resolutions that I did last year and I've modified them a little bit to go into next year. So complete a 10K. I I don't think that I am going to be in a place where I'm going to want to run again this year. So I'm sort of doing a pivot, and I'm giving a little sneak peek. My resolution that is going in that slot, in that like physical fitness slot, is going to be become competent at a new sport or martial weapon. Zelzer, what do you think of that?
Ooh.
Hmm. Um, I support. Uh, Depends on the weapon and the sport because I'm against some of them.
I am currently
For
leaning.
moral reasons.
I am currently leaning, um, either training with a bow staff, training with sword and shield,
Mm,
or uh,
mm,
or biking. Uh,
mm.
those are the three things that I'm sort of juggling right now. Whether I'm able to become proficient with a weapon, um, is heavily dependent on whether I'm able to find a gym that does that.
Yeah. No, Tom, you could save yourself a lot of energy, become proficient with a sawed-off shotgun. That's way. If somebody
Whoa,
comes with
whoa,
you
whoa,
with
whoa,
sword and
whoa, whoa!
shield, if somebody comes at you with sword and shield, they're having a bad time.
You're referring to the ranged weapon that I will make out of the record SOS by Nathaniel Ratcliffe, maybe?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry, Salazar. Did you have any thoughts?
Um, um, I mean, uh, I took like 2 bow staff lessons when I was 11, and I thought that was fun. Um,
It just seems like a lot
yeah,
of fun.
it hitting stuff. I'm a big baseball person, and I firmly believe it's because I really enjoy hitting things really hard.
Oh, sure.
Um, and if you can find that in sports where the things aren't moving, you know, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, uh, it might be easier.
I've also strongly considered like sparking Nerf again because I've enjoyed Nerf so much since running them at undisclosed convention. And I'm really thinking I'm wondering what that might look like as a path toward a healthier Tom.
That I think so. I at one point when my mother was married into a large plot of land in the middle of nowhere, which is no longer the case. Uh, I considered building a place that I called, and this is kind of inappropriate, but Nerf Verdun. Uh, and I had plans for it and everything, and now I don't have that property anymore. But I would still love to build a like full on adult trench warfare. Like there's walking past through the trees, you can shoot people from anywhere, get 20 of your friends, and uh, do nerf so hard that it like causes you real life problems. Location.
Um,
And if you make that a resolution, I will help you to the best of my ability to make that a reality.
Ryan has a couple of really funny things, by the way. Uh, Ryan says, get a Nerf sword, Tom, and learn to deflect Nerf darts. Unfortunately, that is a technical out. A Nerf dart hitting your weapon is considered a tag, which sucks.
Yep, it is.
Um,
Which
and
makes it very hard to do demo night in real life Nerf wars.
Ryan also says, parry this, platypus.
Well, there's also Parry This You Casual,
That
which was the
killed me.
shotgun.
That's
I want
really
to shout out the
good.
people. Those are all very, very, very good. I love all the jokes people are making. I do want to shout out the people who are talking about some of their other accomplishments in the chat. Ross is talking about a few of them, and MSB as well. And all that. C Star said I graduated from this year. I graduated from high school, but if I'm not mistaken, C Star, I think you're actually older than us, and I'm not sure if I'm confusing you with somebody else. So I don't know if I believe you, but if if it's true, congratulations.
Wait, I thought that they were making that joke about 1984.
Oh wait, you're totally right.
As
It's
always.
the year I graduated from high school, 1984. Okay, I thought you said this year. Silly me. Hello, Reddist. We
W.
are. So Ross also did a screenplay. Congrats on that. And MSB, you're doing your own resolution bowl. We're very excited about that. The fact that other people are out doing it, either by themselves or with friends, is always the intended goal of sharing this with the world. Was for other people to do this and find a way to have people celebrate their successes. So I'm glad so many people are. And C
Yeah.
Star
Yeah,
clarifies that.
yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. Uh,
Redis, by the way, if you're in chat and you feel like hopping in and telling us how your resolutions went, please don't hesitate.
Yes, I think we're going to finish up ours, but we would love to hear from you and anybody
Yup.
else who participated afterwards.
Yeah,
Tom,
I'll
I
hop
think
in
this is...
after.
Ah!
You scared Tom there. Um,
Hello.
I actually turned around.
I'd love
Tom,
that.
let me hop back into my number 7, which is done. And I will list off the graves of folks that I visited this year. Hold on, let me get the same color green for consistency. I visited the graves of...
How many graves did you visit?
Did you visit? 21, which was one more than I needed to.
Nice.
So
That way, if someone
I...
argues that a person isn't dead.
or that I don't actually admire them, or that I shouldn't admire them. I have Benjamin Franklin, his friend Benjamin Rush, both fierce abolitionists and early advocates for women's rights, and real shit posters too, which I also appreciate. And then I visited the grave of my grandfather from my mother's side, not my biological grandfather, but raised my grandmother and was a huge influence on my life. Or raised my mother, rather, and lived with my grandmother, a huge influence on my life. Frederick Douglass, abolitionist, reformer, or advocate of women's rights. Susan B. Anthony, all of the above as well, and very important in getting women the right to vote. Abraham Hewitt, mayor of New York City, who was instrumental in making the subway, which I'm a big fan of, a reality. Henry George, economist who wrote the book Progress and Poverty, which ushered in the progressive era, who ran against Hewitt
What a
in a
silly
mayoral
guy.
election. Henry George, what a cool dude. His book holds up pretty well.
I just looked at the number
Thomas
of people in the Discord call.
I
Thomas
wasn't
Williams
expecting.
Thomas William Sweeney, Brigadier General for the Union Army in the Civil War. Henry Raymond, founder of the New York Times. Fred Ebb, who made the musicals Curtain, Chicago, Cabaret, several others with John Kander. John Kander is still alive, and I've met him, by the way. Geraldine Ferrero, running mate of Walter Mondale, first woman nominated to be vice president. David Farragut, Union Admiral during the Civil War. Irving Berlin, also like hugely important Hollywood and Broadway composer who made a lot of songs that you will all recognize and were huge like standards for a very long time. Miles Davis, who saved jazz music from an era when it was kind of falling a little bit behind to rock, and by introducing elements of rock and really like reinventing the genre as we know it today. And Mayor LaGuardia of New York City, often cited as the greatest mayor in American history, and a champion of fighting corruption. Charles Evan Hughes, Supreme Court Justice who routinely stood up for civil rights. Gilbert Gottfried, my favorite comedian who I've seen live and almost killed me with laughter the time I saw him. Knew how to make dark and dirty jokes without anybody getting hurt, which I feel like is a skill that has been quite lost. Elie Wiesel, who wrote Night, a book that is very important for me and understanding why I am who I am and why I'm a pacifist and all that. Leo Ryan, my favorite congressman, who I did a whole video essay about, who died saving people from Jonestown. My friend Roger, who lived around here and helped me as a young man out of college find these skills that I still use in my career to this day. And Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman to run for president on a major party line, with the campaign slogan that is on her tombstone, unbought and unbossed. Those are my 21 graves of people I admire. I'm very happy to have gone to all of them. This was a surprisingly pleasant resolution for one that is think about death 21 times. But it was great, and I had a blast doing it.
Zach, that was really nice. That was really nice, and I liked it.
Oh, thank you. I have pictures
Yeah.
of every single tombstone too. I spent some time reflecting there. It was an oddly fun resolution.
All right, that's fantastic. Yeah, take the points, you nerd. Is there one that you found particularly moving or particularly beautiful?
Steve Dorries, when I said I've seen him live, he says now you've seen him dead.
Yeah.
The best part is Gilbert Godfrey would have made that joke.
Gilbert Godfrey would think that's really funny.
Oh yeah, he would. Sorry, what was the question you asked me, Tom?
Was there any that I'm sorry, I asked like a real question. I was trying to be like sensitive.
Yeah.
Were there any that you found particularly moving or particularly beautiful?
Yeah, the graves for a lot of them were very beautiful. The Roger, my friend, has a very nice grave. I'd never actually been. I went to his funeral, but I was not there for when he was buried. His headstone is quite nice, and in addition, I love the grave of Miles Davis, which has a bit of his music written on sheet music on it, which I think is a very neat way to preserve his memory. And the Henry George Memorial also, you can tell that he meant so much to a lot of people. His name is like getting a resurgence now. He was forgotten for a very long chunk of American history, considering he is an incredibly influential philosopher who not only lived in America, but was a huge part of our discourse and was a household name at one point. The fact that the average American doesn't know him now uh, is kind of crazy. And you can see on his grave, like there's a sculpt of him. It's huge. It has reefs around him. It has people buried around him who wanted to be buried there. Some are his family, but some are people who considered like I would have never gotten into public service. I would have never done this, that, or the other thing if it wasn't for him, and I want to be buried near him. And it's kind of crazy that we don't talk about him as a American philosopher, as an American political scientist, especially because by all accounts he was right about literally everything. But like it's like it was beautiful and gorgeous and kind of like ingenious the like way they preserved him. And you could tell like New York City has like such a crazy long history of intricate detail also. You can tell when he died, New York lost somebody who meant a lot to them. And that kind of like made me realize that we don't always remember like who built what thing that we use every day. And the same thing is true about Abraham Hewitt. That's the guy who put the first subway line down, and he's a pretty nice grave. But most people who take the subway every day don't know the person who fought his ass off to make it real.
Zach, that's outstanding. Let's move on to something equally significant.
Yes, of course.
How are your Warhammer minis?
I painted a good handful of them, but certainly not all. Nowhere close to all. I am still so behind. And while I did put a dent in, and I painted some of my really big challenges, I did not get nearly through my mostly. So I play orcs, and that was the challenge I have, is that I have way too many units, because the way to play orcs is to have a bunch of units and then hope that they don't all die, because they're cheap and they occasionally get good shots off on people. And while they're a little bit tough, they're not that tough, but they're tough enough that it takes somebody an appreciable amount of time to chip away at all of them. And that is also true about painting them. And Tom, let me tell you, I could not find the time and energy. I really
Zach,
just couldn't.
People are making orc noises in the chat.
They're making they're going Daka and Wog.
Wow.
Wog.
We went from me like wistfully remembering people who influenced me in my goals in life and my worldview to shouting out orc noises, which is about as on brand for this channel
Yeah,
as it
that
gets.
actually tracks for me. Zach, can I? I'm sorry, no, not Zach, not you. I'm actually gonna issue a challenge to the fine individuals watching this. Can I have someone please make for me a Venn diagram of sound orc make, sound Wobbuffet make, and sound Waluigi make?
Put those all in chat.
Can I get that, please?
Zach,
I have great news.
Yes.
While we were talking, I just went through and checked on our videos. And Zach, our channel this year published 63 videos.
How many did we put on the Interesting Nerd Network?
I didn't check the Interesting Nerd Network.
We might be almost there.
So I know I have.
Are you counting live streams too?
Yes. The full text of the resolution is videos, live streams, and shorts combined. And we have done 63 videos, 33 live streams, and on my channel I did 24 shorts this year.
We also did 11 on the Interesting Nerd Network.
Which brings us to a total of 123 plus 11 is 134. 134 videos. I'm going to call that a success. Yeah. Yeah. Zach, what's your favorite video that we've made?
This year?
Yeah.
I'm torn. I really like the first resolution video we did. But if I had to go to the ink videos here, I loved streaming through the Telltale game. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that might be up there for me too.
And then I'm looking through some of the other ones we made. What did we do this year? I really liked our pink letter video, and so did everybody else.
Yeah, me too.
And then
that one popped off because I was so on point with that thumbnail, dude.
Oh yeah, it's a damn good thumbnail. I'm very happy about that one.
It's the best one I've ever made. Zach, I have more good news. I did, in fact, get another tattoo this year.
Oh, nice.
And none of you are ever going to see it.
I believe it's thematically like contrasting with your previous tattoo.
Correct.
Correct.
Which none of you are ever going to see.
Not until we get to how many subscribers
no!
we have on OnlyFans?
Damn it, it's 10,000, which seemed a lot further away when we said that the first time.
When we said that the first time as a joke, we thought we would never be in the conversation of getting there. Yeah. And now, Tom, I'm worried that in 3 years people are going to say, So
rubs hands together.
We just have to hope that OnlyFans collapses as a business before then.
All right.
Oh, we totally would have. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just, it's not around anymore.
I'm sorry. Oh, man. OnlyFans actually collapsed, so we made a new streaming service that's just called OnlyFans.
It's just fans. It's just like the fans running.
It's unrelated. Zach, we got to pick up the pace here.
We do. We have to pick up the pace.
How's your number 9?
My number 9 is done. It is complete. Let me copy this here. Go to Paint. This one. I did 2 video essays on the Zach from the Club channel. That is the one about the purity test, and then I did another one about the Bond Burger meme, which both of those sort of took over my life for a brief period of time, and they were all I could think about and do research on. I am happy with the research I did on both. There are things I wish I could go back and edit and change. I might do a addendum to my first few video essays after I finish the next few. I might do a check-in after every 5 or 10 videos I do on that channel, because I have more to say and some things
more people
convey a little bit better.
Oh no, more people.
Hello, we have so many more people.
Oh no.
Uh,
All right,
that
Zach.
one though is entirely done and complete, and I like it. I'm happy. The SCP articles, by the way, are out. I did 2 tales. I did one that was for a contest, Remix Con, and then one just because I felt like it and wanted to get it out. And they both included music as well because it was an easy way to end the story. So I had a blast making all of them, and people seem to enjoy them who have read them. So I might post those in the server someday for people who want to read my SCP stuff. That might be in the near future. I will share all that stuff. I've been making SCPs for years and years and years now, so just not with as much frequency as I'd like. So this is just adding to my repertoire. The other thing, since we're doing Snake, contribute 10 or more songs to a Hearts Fire 4 mod. I did, Tom. I went in with only a few songs in this, and I'm now one of the most well-known composers of the team of composers I'm on. I had one song that was the opening theme to one of the we do like patches updates where we update and add more story to it and all that. And Tom, I had the opening theme to the famed Ugly American patch, and people really liked the song, and people got to hear it a lot, Tom, because very unfortunately for me, I was the person who made the theme of the update that broke the game.
Huh.
So people would hear it a lot because they had to restart it often.
Nice.
Which gave them a deep appreciation of the music. Eventually, they did fix it. It's a very good update. It had some problems right out the gate, but there's still comments on that song about the game being broken, which are funny. People seem to really like it, so I'm very happy about that one. And I will like some of the songs are some of the best work I've ever done, and I did 10 of them that I made this year are in the game, and you can hear them right now, which is better a turnaround than I thought I would get. I thought it would be some of them are still pending, but literally, if you were to boot up that Hearts of Iron 4 mod right now, you could go click on all 10 songs that I made this year and hear them.
That is fantastic. On I was gonna say a related note, but it's related in that I have a resolution about it.
Mm-hmm.
I consulted with my calendar and consulted with my Zeb. And I do not believe that I satisfied this resolution. I believe I have 5 RPG sessions this year. Which is a real shame.
Yeah.
There it goes. There it goes. I sent it. I intended to play a good deal more with my regular D&D crew. But well, not to put too fine a point on it, one of the players in my D&D crew sent their character to die. And I got the impression that they maybe didn't want to play anymore.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
no good.
Yeah. But it's okay. Furthermore, on number 11, unfortunately, this also did not get completed. I did submit for many con events, but they just didn't end up being accepted. I had only the 2 that I ran early this year at undisclosed convention in undisclosed city. Attended by undisclosed DJ Ewok.
Whose identity will remain a mystery.
Yes.
Thank you, DJ Ewok.
Those ended up being what were they? Nerdy Jeopardy, which was attended by I believe the count was 90 people.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Way too many people. It was great. You ever see 90 people in cosplay all looking at you at the same time? It's wild. And actually was the other one I played.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good and fun, but you know.
We should do Nerdy Jeopardy at a larger scale convention. The problem is like most larger scale conventions don't have events like that, but I'm sure there are some. I would love to take Nerdy Jeopardy on the road with you. That sounds like a blast.
For sure. I submitted it to New York Comic Con and Toronto Comic Con and was not successful.
That is a bummer.
All right, Zach, I pass.
You pass. Okay. This one I'm going to need your ruling on because it's an
Alright.
edge case. The album full of covers is done minus polish. I will have it ready for release in like pretty much a month from today. I'm aiming for a Valentine's Day release. I have I have enough songs that I'm going to need to cut some, and I'm just trying to get the songs that I have all to the best they possibly can be, so I can determine what are the best, what's the best 40-minute experience I can get out of it, instead of dumping an hour of inconsistent music, an hour plus of inconsistent music. But it is done in that regard. It is completed. You cannot say I did not create an album of covers. The album of originals, I have three arguments to make, and they're all kind of let's squint and see. So one of them is I did do the instrumentals for my next album, but they're very rough. They don't have any vocals, and I'm going to change and axe a lot of them. I did create about 40 minutes worth of music, but I know for a fact that this is not what the release version is going to look like. That is argument number one. Argument number two is on my often alluded at, but never, not very often directly referenced memes and music outtakes channel, DJ Zoda, which you can find by poking around and cyber stalking me pretty easily. I released a album called The Graveyard, which is all my cut tracks, outtakes, abandoned projects, and other pieces of music from 2022 to 2023. A lot of them I touched up, cleaned up the mix, and all that, or we're still working on actively through this year. I put the year I began working on the project with all of them. I should note that only one of them was fully created from beginning to end in the year of 2023, which is why this one's kind of tenuous. And that one is also probably one of the best songs in this outtake album. That is on my channel. It's an hour's worth of music, and very few things came in completely untouched. And the third one, I have to argue, is also releasing in 2024, also pretty much done. I have an album of meme mashups, and if you want to say that's not an original because you're combining other people's songs, I would say yes, but you would never listen to one of my meme mashups to get the feeling of the original song because I am intentionally making the most cursed mashups possible.
Zach,
You'll all hear that very soon.
it sounds like you made one album of covers, and then
Yes.
uh uh got most of the way to 3 other albums.
Yes, and whether they're original or not, or whether I created them this year or not, or what the disputes are,
My brother in Christ,
or whether
take
they're
the fucking
completed
points.
enough.
Take the fucking
Uh,
points. I'm not
we had
gonna.
a we had a
Who the fuck are you trying to beat right now? Take the fucking points, you nerd.
we had a lengthy debate with my IRL resolutions crew as to what this entailed, and I totally think that they had a valid argument. But if you're not going to argue it, I'll take the points.
It doesn't
And
say
that
it doesn't say create and release specific albums. It says create albums of originals and covers. You have created albums.
yes,
You have created there weren't albums and now there are. Easy peasy.
that's fair. That's my friend said they were intending for the whole thing to be done and in release form, and I understand that argument, but I did say create, not complete.
Yep.
They had a problem.
That
They
says
they had a
create, not
disagreement with that,
publish.
and that is fair. Correct, and that is always what I intended.
Right. I could listen to it. You could send it to me right now, and I could listen to it, and it would be and like I'm sure I would enjoy it. It may not be
Yes,
as polished as you would like, right? Like I got points for write a book. Um, the fact that that book is not edited does not mean that it is not written.
correct. I always agree with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you got
the
it.
next one,
Take.
the next one is run a Paradox mega campaign, and this should have been the easiest, and it ended up being one of the hardest because one, my friends wanted to play along, and it's actually pretty much impossible to do that without a ton of planning around incompatible schedules to play a game that crashes a lot. So very late in the game, I started the CK2 portion of it with a mod that opens the start date to be a lot earlier. And then I ran the problem of save corruption again and again and again. And I learned how to uncorrupt saves pretty consistently and how to avoid problems that crash the game in CK2, which is a really great skill that I did not put down as a resolution. And I did not even get to EU4, so I'm getting no points. I was supposed to go from CK2 to EU4 to Victoria 2 to Hearts of Iron 4, and then past the end date of Real World World War II to count for the points. And I got nowhere close. I game is currently sitting at the year like 1100.
All right. Well, no problem. But Zach, I do have good news here at the end.
Yes.
I don't know if you are aware of this, but
We may in fact have a Patreon.
after much griping and quibbling on my end, we did start a Patreon, and it has been a rousing success. Thanks in large part to many of the people watching and many of the people in this call. Make noise, please.
Yo!
I'm currently canceling my
Yeah.
subscription.
Woo!
I forgot to do it last night.
Don't worry,
I even reminded you.
We'll keep your name up
Yeah,
on the
well,
board until we run out of space. Then you're getting
I
the
went
axe.
to go-
But hopefully you're back by then.
Then you're getting the axe.
I went to go re-listen because I wanted to get as much out of my subscription as possible. So I went to go and re-listen to all the outtakes, and I got like halfway through the 93-minute, the falsely named 93-minute one.
That one's fun.
And fell asleep.
I respect this. I don't understand
Cancel
how
membership.
people fall asleep listening to our videos. We're not exactly the most peaceable individuals, but I'm glad.
Also,
It was-
the
it
level
was
of volume and
4
like,
a.m.
changes a lot.
It was 4 a.m. and I just went from the West Coast from the East Coast to the West Coast, so it felt like 7 a.m. to me.
Sure.
Oh wow.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Yes. The
Confirm cancellation.
Oh,
Save and continue.
my heart, she breaks.
No. Do you mind sharing why? My financial situation changed. I am not happy.
This is a great
No,
time to say this. Thank you, everyone who supports us. We really appreciate it. Never,
Yes.
ever feel any obligation to.
We do this because we want to, and also if we ever stop doing it, it's because we no longer want to. If we could ever make a living off this, that'd be great and amazing, but we never expect it. We are never like gunning towards it, and you owe us literally nothing that you don't want to give us.
Thank you all very much. And I wonder if this is the first stream where a patron has canceled their subscription on stream.
It might be
because
with the person they were subscribed to and supporting. That might
because
be the
that
case.
shit is some quality content right there.
Yes.
All right, Zach, let's do a total. I don't think that I won.
I
What is that,
agree.
20,
I think
24, 29.50.
I'm counting up mine right now.
36.50, I believe.
700 plus 900 plus 600 plus 800 plus 850 plus 1100 is equal to 5. Oh, hold on.
The play-by-play is crazy.
Who'd we lose? 5, 9.
Oh, Duke. Rip.
Oh, bye, Duke.
5-0 by Duke.
I think Zach got like 5,950.
Yes.
A lot of points, let's just say.
Yes, I am at 5,950. You're at 3,650. It looks like I have won this year, although that's not quite the disparity that I would have expected coming in.
I wasn't as far away as I thought
fumbled
it was.
one of these. If I had fumbled one of these and you had pulled one of them off, you probably actually would have won.
If you had fumbled something, right, like if you had fully fumbled like music video,
yeah,
I might have argued albums and covers and come ahead.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, so that's that. I would love to turn. Hang on, I'm gonna check the number of people in this call for the Jesus.
Wahoo.
Reddist, would we like to start with you? Tell us how you did this year.
Sure. Hello. Let me pull up my resolutions. I did pretty good, all things considered.
All right.
So the first one was to publish a book, which I did not do. I have a book of poetry finished, and then a book of it's um like a spiritual book for witchy people, kind of like I can't think of the word. It's not divination. But there's this type of book that is like daily things for you to do for your religion, and I was like, what if we did that without religion? So that's 2 books that have not been published. I've been
That
sending them out, but no luck.
that sounds like a lot of fun. Oh,
Yes.
hey, I got it on the screen. Look at that.
Oh hey. Um, I did get 5 poems published. I was published in Pine Mountain Sand and Gravel, The Curious Nothing, Pegasus, and shoot, what's the last one? Impossible Task. But I had 3 published in Curious Nothing. So, yeah. So that's that. I did get a job on my career path. If you're counting an assistantship at a college, it is in editing, which is what I want to do. So if we're counting that, I did that.
That counts.
Yeah, I
I
think
also
that's
got an
extremely
assistantship.
countable.
I got an assistantship for grad school, which is kind of the same thing. So I don't know if we want to count it twice. Is the thing.
Oh, a job and a career path and an assistantship for grad school. Interesting.
But the assistantship is the job.
Does
So like,
does it give you money?
yes.
Then absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I failed to plan the wedding. We're still at like save the date stage. So not yet. I did read 5 books from my unread shelf, and my new goal is to read at least one a month, so like 12 for next year.
What was your favorite book this year?
My favorite book was The Traitor Baru Cormorant by Seth Dickinson. It is insanely good. It does have a reference to A Song of Ice and Fire in it, I'm pretty sure. It's Varys' riddle is like transformed into Seth's own thing. But it's like still pretty close. Like I spotted it immediately and I was like, this has to be a reference. But it's really good. It's about accounting for a rebellion. Like being the accountant for a rebellion.
That is
which,
some real nerdy shit.
It's very nerdy. And then the second and third books, which I'm reading now, get into like uranium is now a plot object. It gets wild. But yeah. I finished watching 3 shows that I started but never finished with my fiance. So he's not my husband because we got legally married.
Hey, congratulations!
Congrats.
Thank you. We'll have our actual wedding later. But we have this really bad habit of starting shows and never finishing them. So we finished Titans. We got caught up on Superman and Lois. Technically, we didn't finish it, but Superman and Lois. And then I can't remember. There was an anime that we watched that I can't remember the name of. But we did that finally. I did not get back under 130 pounds and maintain. I actually gained weight because the holidays are hard.
Yes, Thanksgiving is a real time.
Thanksgiving and Christmas is a bad time.
And that's the rub of doing this in early January is there's a point where I could have completed that resolution, and it was in June, and then never again.
I wouldn't have gotten it, but I at least wouldn't have gained weight before the holidays.
Yes, it's tough.
And then I kept my room clutter minimal, which for me is a difficult thing because if there's a horizontal surface, I'm putting stuff on it. And that does include the floor, but mostly includes the bedside table, a desk, my dresser. But now I've got things kind of managed, which is a big thing for me. I also got rid of a lot of stuff. I got rid of enough stuff that it all fits in my new apartment. We got rid of boxes and boxes of stuff, just like junk that we had, collectibles, stuff that I didn't want to see go. But like, it's time to be an adult and live in an apartment and like not have a bunch of collectibles. And then I did see my friends
in the other direction this year.
Well, I hope to get there eventually. I think that there's like adulting, which is getting rid of all your like collectibles, and then there's like super adulting, which is being able to afford more collectibles.
Yeah, that's when you like earn the right to get a bunch of them back.
Yeah. And then I did see my friends at least twice a month before moving to Georgia and twice after moving to Georgia. and I finished reading one full comic run that was already completed with at least 10 issues. I read Brightest Day, Darkest Night. Or is it Darkest Night, Brightest Day? That's the one that I read. So total, I think I'm at 5,200.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. We did not have a. This is a good time. This is a good time as any to talk
Yeah.
about this. We did not have a standard counting system this year. I think we're gonna try to change that for next year. But for this year, as far as I'm concerned, there are no losers. Anyone who was bold enough to try to compete in this, as far as I'm concerned, is
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I over pointed some things, but also partially because some things are surprisingly easy once you have the motivation of something like over your head to do them. Like keeping my room clutter minimal is difficult for me because, like I said, I put things on every surface. But having like a reason to keep it clean other than just keeping it clean made it so much easier.
Yes. This is this is my favorite argument about this game. I feel this way all the time. I will not work out to better myself or to make myself more healthy or to make myself more fit. But I will work out to beat Zach.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
I somehow couldn't make time to read 5 books like in a year for the last couple years. 5 books of my own volition, not books I had to read for school. Last couple years I haven't even read 5 books a year. But like suddenly it's like, oh, I could win something?
Yeah.
Not even like a prize, but just like I could say I did it. Okay. I'll read the hell out of 5 books.
I'm reminded of a Brendan Lee Mulligan quote. I will do anything to win anything.
Yes, precisely.
You do not know the lengths I will go for 3 points.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that, and it's been one of the best parts. And I think I will do a lot to make sure it's going to be easier for everybody to score each other's points. I think I'm going to whip up a spreadsheet once everybody's locked in and has their resolutions finalized for future participants of the 2024, so everybody can put a score down and we have a document to check back in on in the future. And that way people can award their points at a much longer counting ceremony because it goes up the more people you have. So the next year one might be a 6-hour stream.
Yep.
Buckle in, everybody.
Oh yeah. So Redist, how do you feel about how you did? Do you feel like you should do you feel like you would do anything differently this year? Are you planning on competing again this year?
I am planning on competing again. And I have a couple like repeated resolutions, like publish a book is still on there. But I've kind of opened things up a little bit, I think. Like I have a lot broader of resolutions. Like I have tried 26 new things. My therapist told me that you should try as many things in a year as you are years old. So I'm 26, so I have to try 26 new things. Obviously, that gets harder the older you get. But what does new things mean? I am determining that as I go. It could
Babies
be trying
must
a
be
new
so good at that.
Right? I could really say almost anything. I could be like, I did D&D with a new group. I'm not counting that. But I did count. I went to my first queer media class, so I'm taking a bunch of poetry courses and then a queer media class. And I was like, that's new and different for me. So I counted going to it for the first time as one new thing.
That sounds very fun and very interesting. Do you have anything you want to add? Any challenges or anything that you anything you're excited about before we move to the next one?
I'm excited to read more. I've decided I'm gonna like fully swing back into reading. So even though my goal is only 12 books from my unread shelf, I still feel like so far I'm ahead of the game. I finished the Monster Baru Cormorant yesterday, and so now I'm starting the Tyrant Baru Cormorant. So that means I'm ahead by like 15 days. So far.
this is to bounce off that for a moment. If anyone is thinking about what resolutions to make, 12 is not a lot of books, especially for someone who really likes reading. However,
Right.
um, underachieving, like missing your goal, feels pretty bad. But
It does.
overachieving feels really good.
I was gonna say I'm hoping to actually double 12, but for somebody who has not read 5 books in as many years, other than the 5 I read in the last 6 months, like I was like, let's get back into this slowly, and if I double it, I double it.
Yeah.
And that'll feel so good.
it-
And I'll
it-
have more room on my shelves because I have an unread shelf, and it's starting to take over.
we'll have the scoring system a little bit more fleshed out. But in some cases, doubling a resolution has led to double points. We're gonna need to talk about like what the specific rules are regarding points. But as far as I'm concerned, doubling it is worth double bragging rights at the very least.
Yeah, oh for sure. I would be very interested in the new point system because the points are coming up with the resolutions was easy. Coming up with points, not as easy.
Is there anyone else in the call who participated last year and wants to share some of their wants to share how they did? I think the answer is no, but I wanted to see if anyone um uh uh like if we had like one of Forge's friends in here or something. No?
I'm gonna be honest. Um, you pinged me, and that's why I'm here.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing okay. I didn't do this.
But I think you do have something to brag about, and I think you should brag about it.
Oh yeah, no, I completed NaNoWriMo. That was fun.
Woo! Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolutely worth celebrating. That's a tough one.
fantastic.
It's worth
Completed
noting that I believe
NaNoWriMo.
both me and Tom have attempted it before and never completed it.
That's
Yeah.
extremely true.
Not just
Well,
completed
okay.
like personal goal, but completed the all 50,000 words because you can set a personal goal.
Yeah, I completed it in air quotes because I did write 50,000 words, but I sure as hell did not write one novel.
That's still really impressive.
It is still incredibly impressive, yes.
I'm over here like crying a little bit because I have no idea why I pinged you.
Yeah. I was confused as well.
I have
I
no
appreciate
idea.
it.
Did I ping you and forget to ping somebody else? No, it
Let's
looks
go
like I
see.
just added you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
because
party.
you expressed interest in the resolutions party, I think, that was
Oh,
scheduled.
oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'll definitely do it for next year, I guess.
that sounds awesome.
It sounds
Awesome.
fun.
Well,
Yeah.
well, Viper, this is a great transition. Do you want to tell us some resolutions that you might be thinking about? No one needs to have theirs locked in now. I'm thinking, Zach, like a soft end of the month. Is that what we're shooting for?
I think so. The IRL group I'm doing with, we are going for the weekend before Valentine's Day, or going for the 11th as our end day. 11th is our lock-in day. So I think that's a fine start, and we can definitely have our like starter video prepped for recording by then. So I think right now everything is tentative, but you should still be working on your resolutions. But we'll have a lock-in date for. We'll have a lock-in day for resolutions on the 11th, and a lock-in day for people's point scores 2 weeks after, and then everything will be automatic from there.
So like, don't worry. Nobody who's watching, don't worry if you don't have them all ready yet. But Viper, why don't you start? Tell us some things that you're thinking about.
Yeah, okay, so I am one of my goals is that I would like to get a short story of mine published. That sounds like a cool thing that I might want to do. So yeah, that's something I'm thinking about.
That's extremely ballin'.
Another thing is I want to perform more drag. Really been doing all too much ever since like exams started kicking my ass. So, and I define more currently as 3 or more shows a month, which is an ambitious goal, but yeah.
that's a lot. Goodness, that's every weekend.
It's quite a bit, yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
trying to
but I
do?
don't.
Are you trying to do a show every weekend?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely reaching out to a lot more folks in my area. So yeah, hopefully they respond to stuff, and hopefully yeah, things go well.
Hell yeah, I support this, and that is a high scoring resolution for sure. That is tough, but very achievable.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the two things that I have like right now. I'm sure I'll think of more, but yeah, those are the two that come to mind right now.
All right. Zelazor, how about we pop over to you? We did yours from last year, but why don't you tell us some of the ones you're thinking about for this year?
Yeah. Let me open up my notes app on my phone. So yeah, I think as I mentioned at the beginning of the thing, my first two resolutions are about like just finishing some of the projects that I've been working on. I guess I made last year's resolution when my life was going well, and now lots of things have happened, and now I have actual resolutions that I need to do to improve my life. And so I made a lot more room for those, plus some fun ones, but you know, lots of I actually need to get this done and not fail to do these things. Uh,
I think
if
that
that makes sense.
sometimes in sometimes in situations like this, like we're playing a game, but that doesn't mean that the resolutions
Yeah.
can't be like serious and really meaningful. And I think that that's a great direction.
Yeah, there are some consequences to some of my resolutions that if I fail, worse things will happen to me than not getting points. But hopefully the points will help.
And having people around to cheer on and encourage you, I hope will
Yeah,
help a little bit too.
Yes, it makes.
that's the
I've
hope.
had some like tough I need to do this thing resolutions before, and knowing the people would cheer me on for doing them made it a lot less I was a lot less angry or sad doing those things because I knew that I was doing the right thing and somebody was going to cheer and celebrate at the end of the year.
Yep. And uh did I even talk about the last two from this past year? I don't think I did. Anyway, not super important, but I also have resolutions that are like continuations of my 11th resolution from last year about, political stuff in various ways. But yeah, anyway, that's what that's my next year, and I'll finalize it
All right.
shortly.
All right. I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Redis, we want to pop back to you.
For what? I'm sorry, I zoned out.
I identify with that very strongly.
I was looking. I have a candle lit, and I was like, "Ooh."
Sometimes, like I'll be hosting this podcast, and I'll just like look at one of my cats, and then Zach will be like, "Tom."
It's happened a lot. I have also zoned out. There have been a very good few times where you have gone on a very detailed rant about a particular part of A Song of Ice and Fire, and try and guess from the last two sentences when I realize you're ending what the first 8 were.
And this is something that I really enjoy about this is not a serious thing we do most of the time. I love being able to play that game where you check back in and you're like, fuck, he's been talking for a while. Oh shit! All right, we gotta piece it back together. I have like a 50% hit rate on figuring out what you were talking about, even though I wasn't listening.
Yes.
What's worse is I heard the answer, but I don't know what the question was.
Would you like would you like to tell us some of the resolutions that you've been thinking about for next year?
Oh, yeah. So I want to publish a book. I want to publish 5 poems or short stories, and I want to publish an academic paper or article. That's a really new one for me. I just kind of realized, like, writing at a graduate level and submitting to a conference and presenting at a conference, that like maybe my academic papers are worth publishing. So we'll see how far I get there. I don't know that any of them are ready yet, but I've got the full year to mess with that.
I think that
Um,
I think that's awesome.
yeah. And I think I said a couple of the, like, I want to read 12 books from my unread shelf. I want to try 26 new things. I'm doing another weight loss goal, but it's 140 this time instead of, I think, like 130. And I'm gonna give myself, so I set points, and if it's allowed, I want to give myself an extra 100 for every additional 5 pounds if I lose that.
Oh.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's allowed,
I
but
think we're gonna encourage everybody to giving yourself point values is hard, and you might not be the best. You might be your own biggest critic or not the best judge of how
I
difficult
definitely
something
agree.
is. So I think that what we're gonna do is as we've done with the real life group, everybody scores everybody else, and if you're there in attendance at the party and you want to argue that something was worth more points and everybody was like totally wrong and they should all go suck an egg and give you 500 more points, you make that argument in front of everybody and see if it works. And I think that'd be fun. That's my favorite way to do it.
Yeah.
That's fair. But my group and I already like discussed some of this, but this is their first time playing, so they were going off of mine from last year. So like it's kind of biased towards a similar scoring system to what I used last year.
That's valid, and every resolution group kind of gets their own flavor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want somebody else to look at my scores.
I'm a big fan of like Wild West, everybody for themselves sort of scoring. Um, Zach likes it a little more structured. I think that there's a lot of totally fine ways you can do it. I'm gonna let everyone watching, everyone at home, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. It doesn't matter. We're
Correct.
The points don't matter.
we've turned self-improvement into a competitive sport. The sport isn't actually the point.
Correct, and all the arguments over how many points something is worth is just a measure of how impressive what something you did was. And the answer is, if it's worth points, it was impressive.
Yeah.
I think how the argument scale is a good argument to be having, because it's you and your friends arguing back and forth whose life has been improved the most. And even if it turns out if you didn't improve it to the level you want to sell people on, you still made it better.
Yeah.
All right. Redis, anything else you want to throw in there?
So I also want to eat out no more than 52 times and cook an actual meal at least 52 times. And I have my own definition of what an actual meal is. Like, I can't just throw like Kraft macaroni in a pan and call it a day. I have to at least like doctor it or something. Like I made doctored ramen the other day that I counted because I put a pork tenderloin in it. It was so good. Put pork tenderloin and eggs in your ramen. Do it. But I considered that an actual meal because there was like effort that went into it. So that's a little subjective. But I want to eat out no more than 52 times and cook an actual meal 52 times. So about once a week.
I think that the token resolutions are really cool, and
Yeah, I agree.
I encourage their use for sure.
I have a little page on Notion where I'm keeping track of all my little resolution thingies. Works published, books read, things done, meals cooked, and eats outed.
Outs eated?
Outs eated? I don't know.
Both of those are funny in their own special ways.
Tom, do you want to give a preview of our next year ones, or do we have anybody else to? We do have some other people here participating, maybe. Or do you want to wrap it? Because I know we wanted to keep this from going super duper duper long, but
I think
if more people here have things to share, I'd be cool with that. And I'd also love to talk about our next year ones.
Yeah, I think I'd like to open the floor a little bit. If anyone let's start with anybody in the call. If anyone has
All right. I would maybe like to say something about my year. Like, I've gotten real close to getting my engineering degree. I'm 2 months off. I just need to finish my thesis, defend it, and I will be an engineer, which will be a great success.
Hell yeah.
So that's one thing I'm very close to. I'm the MSB from chat, the guy who wants to lose 100 pounds this year. So this will be the hardest thing to achieve. I think like engineering thesis is easy compared to losing that much weight.
Oh my god.
That much weight.
Engineering is so easy, but working out is so hard.
Yeah, like getting a degree is like I think I will get it in 2 months. Just finish my thesis and then defend it, and maybe in like early March I will be an engineer. So that's an easy stuff. Then maybe I will do a master's degree. That's not anything certain. Also, I started writing a book. I've got 3 chapters, but I've got a lot of the world figured out. I even got a rough world map. Which looks kind of like inverted Europe. If you put the East in the West and West in the East, and I want to fix that. I've got like 3 chapters. It's in Polish, which you may have figured out with my beautiful plumber from Slough accent. So yeah, I've got like 3 chapters from 3 different POVs, and one of them is real good. The other 2 not so much, but like I've got the start. I think as a goal I would put like maybe 100 words into the book, which would be probably like half of the book, but I've got like the outline of the main story I got all figured out. Like I know what the main characters will be doing and how their stories will intertwine with one another. So that's one thing. But maybe I will turn into maybe I will turn into a gardener and write 5 books instead of 2 or something. Or 7 instead of 3.
Oh no!
I'm already fat like George, so it would be easier for
resolution bowl, but for when the Winds of Winter comes out, and so we have an undisclosed amount of time to complete.
Wait, that's actually really fun.
Like
we can all be humbled in 2 weeks.
Everybody will choose like a list of theories they would want to be true, and we will get points for every theory that is real in the Winds of Winter.
Wait, that's actually a great use of the side bets channel.
Yeah.
If the Winds of Winter is not published, all Winds-related side bets are pushes. However,
I like that a lot. I do want to note that one of my drinking resolution, one of the holidays that may or may not happen is the Winds of Winter release day. If that happens, I'm allowed to drink on that day so long as I'm reading. Well, it's the day I'm first able to read the book.
Nice.
So I have that conditional. Any day where I'm reading the Winds of Winter, I'm allowed to drink for the first day of that. And I expect that holiday to not happen, but I'm ready to be humbled, to crack open a drink and say, "Okay, George, let's see what you've been cooking."
All right. I'm keeping us on track. MSB, please continue.
All right. I just started losing my weight, so I'm 15 pounds in. That's good. I'm close to a degree. That's good. I will want to have a resolution goal for this year. I just, during the stream, I written a rough outline. I've got 8 things in it. The funniest one, I think, is starting playing multiplayer and getting to 100 elo in like Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. I bought it like 2 years ago, and I was scared to play even the AI. Now I'm playing the AI somewhat all right, and I will try to be somewhat competitive in the multiplayer area. And apart from that, I've got some exercise adjacent stuff and some work stuff, getting work after my degree, that kind of stuff. I would like to get my cousin into it. He will probably be cool with that, I think. Yeah, but it will be cool to have someone to compete with this stuff, because they for yourself is just like, it's good but also not really. Like I will be still doing it for myself, but because really everything you do it for yourself, kinda. That's one thing. And what else? I started drinking much less. I drank much less this year than in like years before. I remember in like 2021, it was like late COVID, early after COVID. I remember getting smashed like once a week at university and just going in next day at 8 a.m. with a carton of milk to help my head. So that wasn't anything good. And this year I haven't drunk nearly anything. I drank only a few beers in a whole year. So that's great stuff. Also, I'm getting
That's
really.
remarkable. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I remember like only drinking to. I remember 4 times this year I drank enough to get into my head a bit. Like less than 2 beers doesn't even get into my head. It's just like relaxing stuff. And only 4 times I've drank like 2 beers or more. So that's good. And never I drank myself into a very bad state. Let's just say so. That's the most important thing. I never had problem to wake up next day after drinking, so that means I haven't drank.
That's
Yeah, so that's a great success.
that one in particular is something that I think is really fantastic. It's
Yeah,
right.
I
It's
was looking at my ankles for long enough time to realize that drinking is bad.
it's really hard for I don't know about anybody else. It's hard for me to make that kind of decision on my own to make that kind of change. But if I have other people around, and they are, cheering me on and, maybe like lightly ribbing me a little bit, that makes it much more likely that I'll stick to that kind of thing. And I don't know if that is true for anybody else, but that's true for me.
Yeah, when you got people who are pushing you into that direction, that's really hard to get out of. But I wasn't that bad, really. Like, I wasn't drinking every day, just like once a week. So it wasn't that terrible. It was bad, but still not terrible, I think so. And now it's real great. Yeah, I will be thinking about more resolutions. I've got like 8, but I think like 3 of them are related to losing weight. So one is just losing the weight, one is riding a bike, and one is running. So it's like all the same thing, really. Yeah, so I've got ambitious plans for this year, even more ambitious than the things I've done in 2023, which was pretty good. I've got better at university, where I was like passing classes on the first try, which was a new thing. Good things universities in Poland are free, so you can just relax a bit.
Dude, this is fantastic, and I'm really really excited to see the full list. I'm excited to see everybody's full list actually. Was there
Like full
anything?
lists are cool, you know.
Yeah. Was there anything you wanted to add before we move on?
I will maybe think and maybe add something later. Like right now, I think I've said everything I wanted.
All right. This is true for everybody. If anyone has any more ideas or thoughts, and they please don't hesitate to throw them in the resolutions chats in the Discord, spitballing and just general resolution discussion.
Yes.
Before Zach and I do ours, Duke, I think that we haven't heard from you. If I don't know if you're thinking about participating this year.
I'm chewing right now.
No, no, oh no! I got him at exactly the wrong time.
Oh yes, the worst timing. The just bit into food timing.
Well, if anybody else has any resolutions that they'd like to share, Zach and I are gonna do ours, and then I'll just ask one more time before we close after Zach and I
I
do
think
ours.
yes. I'm gonna go through my tentative list right here.
Oh,
I saw
Zach,
we just had one posted.
before you
But
do that,
yes.
while we're doing ours, if anyone wants to throw some of the ideas they have into the chat, please don't hesitate, and I'll be keeping
Yeah,
an eye on them.
throw them into the chat. Here's my tentative
Yeah, do it.
list right now. Build a really cool custom bass guitar.
Very nice.
Release an album a friend would describe as one of their favorite albums of all time.
How dare you target me?
I'm also doing there's a friend of mine who might really like my meme mashup album that will also come out next year. But my album of originals, yes, I'm laser targeting you. This album is entirely your vibe. spend at least 30 days doing some activity with a member of my immediate family. 20 or fewer non-holidays, which I consume alcohol. All holidays are conditional. Eliminate all credit card debt and pay off my Jeep. Burn more calories than I consume for 300 days of the year. Release 100 videos across all channels, including a 30-day song challenge. Contribute enough to an election victory of a candidate I support that it may not have happened without me. Finish 6 non-trivial, unfinished creative projects. Can be mine or another person's abandoned project. I am going to possibly steal a abandoned Tom Scott project for this, by the way, Tom.
Yo, let's do another movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Unironically, I've been thinking about like making a shitty Hallmark movie, so maybe we can do that.
And then giving it to Hallmark and seeing if they run with it.
Being like, here you go, guys, I made this. Give me some money for it.
Oh, that's ingenious.
Doesn't
that might
that
be my
sound
next
fun?
career.
Right, like a Western New York winter. There's the title, right? The title is A Western New York Winter.
It's just somebody getting stuck inside of a house and realizing there's nothing to do except watch a Sabres game, and then the Sabres lose.
Yeah, 2 people get snowed in during a Buffalo Bills game.
And they bond. They don't like each other, but they bond over their mutual distrust and hatred of referees.
Yeah. Now, Zach, it'll be shitty, but it'll fit right in.
Yeah, it will be no shittier than every other Hallmark Christmas movie. I like it.
All right, continue.
Learn how to cook 6 great meals of every meal of the day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, including one custom off-the-wall recipe.
Point of order.
I hope you're ready for. Yes, go for it.
Point of order. Is that 6 each or 6 total?
6 each.
Fuck yeah.
Create 2 functional portable vocal effect machines with a Raspberry Pi or similar device and use them live at a karaoke night.
Fuck yeah, let's get programmy.
Let's get programmy for the purpose of showing off at a bar. And
why do we do anything else?
Which is a really narrow subset of uses programming and can be shown off at a bar to impress people. And number 12, the most unhinged resolution I've ever had, in which a lot of people will chime in and say you probably shouldn't do that, and they're right. Perform at Fire Festival 2. And I understand, Zach, there's a very good chance that ends poorly. And yes, correct. And I'm going to risk it anyways.
Oh.
God damn it, I might be the only one who performs, but it's happening.
You might be the only one who has a good time. You're going to be the only human being who has a good time at Fire Festival. I mean, there's got to be a lot of people who are going there just for the meme, right?
Well, so all things considered, they're like not making, at least not making some of the same mistakes the first one made, in that they said, if we have to move the date to make sure it actually happens, we will, which was notably one of the really, really big problems with the first one, was that they couldn't because they took out short-term loans. No signs of that so far. The guy who ran it, Billy McFarland, is out of prison and claims he's doing this to redeem himself. Billy! He says he's doing this to redeem himself. And he's going to do it legit this time and prove he's capable of holding a festival to the people he like ripped off and screwed over the first time. And he understands that people don't believe him, but he's gonna do it. And that means there's 2 things that could happen. He actually does it, and it's a little bit of a redemption arc, and he proves he's capable of hosting a festival, which does not make him a great person, but it makes him a much better person than he was. Or he screws it up again, and everybody who went there is like, well, I should have seen this one coming. This is kind of on me this time.
Or he screws it up again, which is funnier.
Yes. And Tom, as I've said every time about this resolution, either way, I want to say that I was supposed to perform or / I performed.
Yeah, I mean,
and I was there.
Zach, I need you to understand some things about this resolution. Right, this is one of the good things about having a team. Having like a bunch of people who are like looking over your shoulder and talking to you about the things you're planning. I need you to understand that this is an expensive joke. This might be, if it goes well, this might be a $2,000 joke. If it goes well, it might be a $5,000 joke. If it goes poorly, this might be a $10,000 joke and you're stranded on an island.
I ran this one by my mom, actually. I said, if I'm going to get stranded anywhere, a tropical island is probably ideal, especially a tropical island that has a functional airport. But, like, yes, there's a chance this goes poorly, but if he tries to stick me with a bill, I can just say no you to a lot of those things. If it looks like I'm going to get, like, scammed to all high hell, I won't be getting on any plane and or boat until I have, like, a contract or a payment or something of that sort. I'm hopefully smart enough to understand that. But if I end up performing to a crowd of 40 people with equipment that barely functions, that's still probably better than the crowd I could pull back home. So
You know what? You're right. And you know what? If they're also stranded on the beach, they sure as sugar are gonna remember you and your bass guitar.
Yep. If it's just me and whichever friends are dumb enough to join me on that journey, and whatever equipment we can haul with us, will still probably be the best performance that those people see.
All right, Zach, and here's what I got.
Right. I'm
They
excited.
I need to play. This is not final. I need to play around with a couple of them because it's not as exciting as I want it to be. Right? I want a couple more very fun ones like plunder a sunken ship. I just haven't really thought of them yet. These are just like good things for me. Here we go. Make and go to at least 4 doctor's appointments. You may say to me, Tom, that's a lot of doctor's appointments, and you'd be correct. But I need to go to at least a dentist and an eye doctor this year, and I need to get a new primary care, and I'm adding a bonus.
And I feel like that's correct because there are some things I should probably get checked out that I've been holding off for a wee bit.
I had a conversation with Zeb today. I am not including standard follow-up appointments like psychiatrist appointment. I am not including those. And I am not including standard follow-up appointments like STD tests. Those are standard. They happen like pretty much without my input. And those are not included on that list.
Yeah.
Eat food from restaurants on no more than 30 days. God damn it. I have
that seems a little more achievable.
Yeah, I guess it does. What really pisses me off is that the last one was achievable and I just didn't.
Well, okay, if something can seem achievable but run into the same structural problems, it could just be that there are certain times of the year where it'd be inconceivable to ask you to not go to a restaurant for the way you live your life, and that's baked in, and there's no getting past that. So you might as well give yourself more tokens, and I don't begrudge you for that at all.
All right, I have become competent at a new sport or martial weapon. We talked about this a little while ago.
You skipped number 3.
I know. I'm playing with the order here a little bit.
Okay, go for it.
I am thinking bike, short sword, or bow staff. Those are my 3 weapons.
I like those. I think it'd be fun if you took up boxing, or one of the things I thought of for taking. I actually have been thinking about this as a replacement resolution for my tentatives is learn a particular position in American football, and like get good at doing one specific niche thing, so I can appreciate the sport more and get a lot of physical fitness. Although I don't know how much physical fitness I would get because, well, I guess it would still get plenty because it still requires working out. But I'm leaning towards kicker if I do that.
I'm sorry, Zach. You broke up there a little bit. Physical what?
You're not going to get me with Ligma live on air. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
It.
Pickle 50 things. I like that one. That one's fun.
I'm excited about that one. Hopefully, I'll be able to sample some of them.
Throw a party at my house. Throw a party at my house.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, you own a building and you love throwing parties, and it's kind of crazy that you've never thrown a party at your building.
Yeah, it is not fit for company yet. It has many of the amenities that I need to be living there. But it needs more work to be able to have people over, in like a relaxation capacity. And this resolution makes me have to do that. This is basically make your house shipshape. And it has a like a natural like finish line. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have upload at least 3 media explained speedrun videos.
This is how we're gonna do the Yu-Gi-Oh video.
At the moment, the 2 on the docket are Yu-Gi-Oh and Paranormal Activity. Those are the two that I'm working on right now.
I'm gonna force you to do a third one.
Yep.
Which is 1 second. Hold on.
The
I want to do the either all the James Bond movies or all the Daniel Craig James Bond
Zach,
movies.
that's so. Oh, but you described them to me.
Yes, you're
Nice.
you're
Yeah, I
player
love
number
this.
2. I wanna go through and then explain all of them because I might do all of them because I want to talk about the Ice Palace.
Okay, perfect.
Are
This-
you
Duke, you're saying something?
considering the lost 10-hour Yu-Gi-Oh video speedrun?
yes.
Yes.
Yes, that is the name
wait,
of the series. Yes, they are media explained speedruns. Yes.
wait, it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Explained 100% no glitches, no skips.
That was the title of the video.
Yes, and we had to talk about capsule monsters, and at that point, I had been awake for 5 more hours than I intended that night, and
It
wanted
was
to
like
die.
it was
It was
like
great.
2:50 in the morning, and we weren't even into the
Oh.
last arc yet. And there
Oh,
were rug pulls at the end.
It was 3:50 when we got to capsule monsters.
Oh
And
shit.
let me tell you, I don't like capsule monsters, and I really, really didn't like capsule monsters at 3:50 in the morning.
It was pretty good. So, those we're considering having those be, I don't know if I'd call it a flagship series on the second channel, but they're going to be on the second channel, and if people want to watch them, that's where they're going to be.
Yes.
Ross says that's 247 hours. Yeah, sure is. Correct. Publish a board game or book. So I have this board game, and I have this book, and I maybe have this other book. I think I'm gonna end up reworking that one a little bit. To give myself a little bit more freedom on what I'm gonna do. But we'll see. I would like to put one of those things out in the world. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Make mead. I like having little achievable ones that are just like fun and are just now things that I can say that I did. And I have never made my own alcohol. And I would like to make some mead because mead seems.
I don't think
easy
I've
and
ever
tasty.
actually. I've never had mead actually. So I've somebody had a make mead resolution for 2021, and then
Cool.
didn't do it, and I was bummed because I was like, I've never had mead before, so it'll be nice to try somebody's homemade mead. And now, Tom, on a delay, I will get to do that again, unless you also don't make mead. So please make mead.
which is very possible.
Yes.
Upload at least 75 combined videos, streams, shorts, and podcast episodes. I think I'm going to amend that one to be make whatever your number is, it'll be the same number as you.
Yes.
And then in side bets, I'm going to challenge you to upload more in like 3 different categories. Upload more hours, more videos, and more watch time, something like that.
I like this challenge. And then we share the ones that are our combined projects. All Ink and INN stuff will be shared. But the Zach from the Club stuff and the DJ Zoda stuff and the Tom Silver stuff, those are separate.
Oh, don't tell people my other channel.
Go look at some great YouTube shorts over at Tom Silver. Or here's some quality meme mashups over at DJ Zoda. If you want to stalk, if you like stalking us, we're helping you.
if by great shorts you mean filthy puns.
Oh, filthy puns. Yes, there's some really good puns on there.
Mostly on our friend Zeb.
Mostly Zeb wincing at a pun you made, which is great.
Zeb and my mom.
Zeb and your mom in physical pain from a joke you made, which I've witnessed a lot in real life before we did any YouTube things. So it's good that it's finally getting some recognition. That's a cornerstone of your life you're capturing there.
Yeah. Popping back up. This is one I think I'm gonna rework. I have be keto for 182 total days. I think I have too many fitness resolutions, and I think that's gonna be the one that I drop. I think that's gonna be the one that I drop because counting to 182 is a level of organization that I don't really want to impose on myself. Counting to 24 like I have done for my tokens is already, I know that sounds weird, but that's already an amount of organization that like has changed the way I think about eating.
Yes.
And I don't think I want to impose that upon myself that strictly. So I'm gonna rework that one. You're gonna love this one, Zach. Sell at least one piece of merch.
Woo!
Yeah, I guess. I guess I'm gonna do that.
We've been talking about doing a bundle for our first sale and putting a bunch of things in one. That might be a thing we're doing because I do have physical copies of an album to sell. So we might do a special, like limited time thing, and then we might also just have a general store with T-shirts and prints made to order. We're not sure yet, but we're going to figure it out this year. We have determined because people keep
Correct.
asking.
Yep, and I have to because it's a resolution.
Yep.
I have
People have
to.
asked for merch. Now
Will
it's up for points.
I open a merch store because it will be like good financially and because people have been asking for it? No. But I'll do it to beat you. And finally, I think this is my favorite one here. When I last weighed myself, I weighed 235 pounds. That
Yes.
this year I hit an all-time silver, the second fittest I've ever been. I hit this year at 227 pounds. That was in early October, I think. And then, as we've established, the holidays happened.
There's a lot of things that happen in November and December that are not good for waistlines. Yes.
Correct. Though I will say I am down from 252 at the beginning of 2023, which feels really good.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've been able to maintain that pretty consistently, actually. Christmas notwithstanding. I would like to continue that. So here's my resolution.
I love this one.
Be 1% cookie.
I love this. It requires some explanation, but it's actually genius, and I'm mad I didn't come up with something like it first.
So here's what I want to do. I would like to continue my dieting and continue my and begin to exercise again. That's been something that's been hard for me since I hurt my knee, and I'm gonna try to get back into it like really headlong. I would like to get my weight down to 198 pounds. And then there is a cookie shop called Insomnia Cookies. They sell cookies 24 hours a day. I think they close at 4 a.m. and open at 7 a.m. And they sell half-pound cookies.
Yes.
I would like to go to Insomnia Cookies and purchase 4 half-pound cookies. I would like to eat those 4 cookies, thereby weighing exactly 200 pounds, exactly 1% of which is cookie.
That's such
Cookie
a
monster.
that's such a like traditional resolution bowl thing in which we encourage people to make a show of like the big dramatic moment. One of my favorite resolution bowl memories was somebody do a pirate radio broadcast as a resolution, showing up to the party with all the equipment and saying, I haven't done it yet, but we haven't counted my points yet. And at the party, starting a pirate radio broadcast of music that I suggested because I had to make music resolution that year. And then people like checking all the hardware and stuff like that. And also that year, somebody had to make a taser resolution. And after they demonstrated it not on anybody, we determined that it was definitely a taser because nobody wanted to be the person to find out if it was really a taser.
Yeah. Like the big dramatic finish, is a lot of fun, and it also sometimes gets you more points.
Yeah, for sure. If you live on stream eat all 4 cookies and say I am now 1% cookie, I'm giving you extra points for that.
Oh yeah, and it's got to be like, I don't know what the margin of error I need is, but it's got to be pretty tight. Like I cannot overshoot it. I can't go to like 195. It's got to be 198. Yeah, and those are mine. Those are my resolutions. That's what I have planned for this year. It needs a little bit of reworking, but that's okay. And everybody who at home, anyone who's planning on playing, there are channels in the Discord where you can post your resolutions. You can edit them after you post them. That's totally fine. And the lock-in is not until, at least a couple of weeks. if you want to play, get them in there. Like the more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. How do you feel about that, Zach?
Put all the things you want in spitballing. If you need help getting resolutions up to 12, reach out to the people there. They'll help you find things. If you want to workshop the things you have to make them more achievable, we're gonna work on that for up until what do we say, February?
Yeah. Let's say
Mid-February-ish?
tentatively the beginning of February, and maybe
Yeah, I think it's on the 11th.
We'll do the video or do the recording on like the 11th or 12th or 13th or something like that.
I think that's a good way to do it. Yeah, we'll find a date, and if you all want to join us for the inaugural 2024 video, we'd love to have you.
For the fine individuals in the call, does anyone have any resolution, anything that they wanna say, anything that they've been thinking about that they wanna put forward? All right. I've been scanning the chat, and I don't think that there's all that many resolutions. I think I saw that Ross wants to reach a certain level in Overwatch, and that's pretty cool. I think I saw a cooking resolution as well, but not all that many. If I miss any, come hang out in the resolutions Discord channels, and yell them at me. You have my permission to ping me, but just for that. Zach, is there anything that you want to add here at the end?
Ross says that he doesn't think he can eat enough cookies to be 1% cookie, and I say, with all eating, it's about training, right? You just need to train yourself by eating a smaller amount of cookies and seeing what that does to your body, and then parsing that. I believe, Dom, you can eat 4 half-pound cookies in a single sitting. I believe you'll be sick the rest of the recording session. I believe that fully, but I believe you can swing it.
I'm like, honestly, hang on. I'm gonna check something real fast. The stream is over. You can go home if you want to, but we're just gonna check something real quick.
We're just vibing.
Net weight.
Somebody left us and said you can go home.
Goodbye.
Bye, Viper.
Bye, Viper. It's been fun. Net weight. Chips Ahoy package. Let's see. Yeah, that's standard one. That's 13 Chips Ahoy Chewy, please. 26 ounces. 16 ounces in a pound. I'm gonna be honest. This is something that I'm only like embarrassedly proud of. I've eaten an entire pack of Chips Ahoy cookies in a sitting before.
Okay.
I'm like, I can do it. I agree with you, Zach. I think that I'll be having a terrible day, but they'll be delicious. Yeah, Zach, anything Ross says, can we change it to 3 pounds of ass?
Oh, it's a tough one.
And that's really funny.
Yes.
Here's a fun, that's actually an interesting thing that we didn't really get a chance to talk about. It didn't really come up with anybody's resolutions. They did come up when I was talking to Zeb though about let's say resolutions with adult themes. As far as I'm concerned, as long as you can phrase it in this isn't a Song of Ice and Fire channel. As long as you can phrase it in such a fashion that it's not going to make anybody uncomfortable, and as long as it's not like an out and out asshole resolution, if your resolution is try 10 new sex positions, I'm like, do it, bro. I don't think I have a problem with that. Zach, do you have a problem with that?
Yeah, no, I don't have a big problem with that.
So if your resolution is eat ass, I support it. And on that note, Zach, I think I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, I think this is a good spot to call it. I agree.
It is the correct amount of unhinged for our channel. thank you, everybody. Everybody in the stream, y'all want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Goodbye, everybody. Thank you. Goodbye.